If there ain't no curve, there ain't no ball. The globe religion about to fall. We're gonna open your eyes so you can see who you gonna call if you wanna be free. GLOBEBUSTERS! 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 Who you gonna call? Who you gonna call? Who you gonna call? Yeah! GLOBEBUSTERS! GLOBEBUSTERS! GLOBEBUSTERS!
And welcome everybody to GLOBEBUSTERS. We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented. It's as simple as that.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of GLOBEBUSTERS Tech. Sorry we were away last week. We had Toober Fest going on. We will be talking about that a little bit before we get into the topic of words, and words have meanings. We are going to probably have a few of these, so think about it a little bit and drop a comment of some things. Now, it doesn't have to be just a word, but actual, phrases, multiple words that go together, sayings, things like that, that a lot of people use, but don't really comprehend. And then we're also wanting to go into the etymology of some words and see how they've actually been changed over the years, almost some of them like polarized, meaning the exact opposite of what they used to mean. It's really weird. But before we do any of that, we're going to say hello to the crew. So starting off, we're going to say hello to Miss Karen B. Karen, how are you feeling this week?
I'm feeling good. I'm a little tired, but overall, I feel pretty good. I'm happy.
Awesome. Yeah, I think everything went really well during Toober Fest. They seem to just be getting better. Like the way you set them up, the time you give in between each presenter, the time you allow for just all that kind of stuff. You're really nailing this down to like a science, and it's awesome to see.
Thank you. Yeah, it does seem to get a little bit easier. Although having it remote this year was like a new set of challenges, and we weren't able to look at the room visually before we got there, so it was a little bit different than how we thought it would be, but it still worked out okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it looked great. The visuals and everything, yeah, with the big video thing right behind them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looked really good. I thought Nathan and crew, the whole crew, all the people that were helping them, which, I mean, it was mostly flat earthers, really. I think there
Well,
was a couple guys there from somewhere else, but there was a lot of flat earthers helping set up the stage and stuff.
yeah. Well, yeah, we hired a crew that we never worked with before, and they are not flat earthers, but they were really cool and very open-minded. And they were enjoying it. They were actually really cool guys, so it worked out great.
Awesome. Well, all right. Well, I know we're going to be talking more about that to come. But next up, we have Mr. Kyle Adams. Kyle, how are you feeling after your first festival weekend?
Starting to get my voice back a little bit. But yeah, I had so much fun over there. It just like the goosebumps wouldn't stop. As soon as I started really talking to people, that's just like when things really became electric for me. It's just like, yeah, the goosebumps would not go away. Like as I get to know people better, and yeah, there's just some kind of excitement going on there. But at the same time, like there's so many of those people out there that I just felt like I was meant to meet you. I needed to meet you this day. And yeah, there was something about that. Just like I needed to be there for a reason. And I just kept seeing that fulfilled over and over again with different people that I spoke with. And it was just amazing. So a lot of people, when we went there, like we're all just focused on the speaker, but with me, I'm like, well, I can I can watch their content all the time. I don't get to see the audience's content every day. Most of those people don't even have YouTube channels, and so I'm over there down there with my camera in the like kind of in the front foyer there and trying to get as many interviews as I can. And yeah, that's the content I want to hear their stories. And so
I
there's
can't
so much
wait.
more to Flattoberfest than just who's speaking. That it's just amazing when once you get people really talking.
Yeah, I saw you with your camera and everything. I can't wait to see some of these interviews you got.
I got my very first interview done or published this morning with Dennis.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, there's a bunch to Dennis that I'd never known about. I had no idea how long he was a flat earther for. Like, 1996, I believe it was.
Mhm,
I'm like,
mhm.
what? Wow! How did he get a hold of the Robotham's book there, Zetetic Astronomy? How did he get a hold of that? And there's so much more to that story that I just barely scratched the surface on. But he is just a knowledge, like wealth of information, and
Oh,
he's
yeah.
really looked into his stuff. And yeah, there's like so many other people. That's kind of the really fun part about really talking to people is no one just says, so and so said so, and that was it for me. You know what I mean? But continually, people would say, I looked into this for myself, and yeah, it was the results that I saw from the experiments that I did that convinced me, yeah, the earth is flat.
Yeah, that's awesome, isn't it? It's like anybody who actually looks into it and kind of tests it at all notices right away and sees it. But it's almost like there's this stigmatism that doesn't allow people to even look at it, to even test it. And I don't know why. Yeah, I mean, we could talk about the human psyche for hours and why, why they can't see it. But
Yeah.
before we get into, go ahead.
I was gonna say I've got 3 takeaways from Flattoberfest I really want to get into, but I want to let everyone else speak. And so yeah, just gonna
Okay.
save
Yeah.
that thought. Save
All
that
right.
thought. I want to come back to this.
And last, but of course, certainly not least, Mrs. Cammie Nodell. Cammie, how are you feeling today, ma'am?
Oh, old, and my voice is coming back a little bit. We had a wonderful, wonderful time. Zach, for people watching the show, oh, by the way, I see people in the chat, Chicago artists. I'll have to show everyone the artwork and different things to share on here. Kyle, with your poster behind you, I have my version of the poster that's a little bit different, but very, very special. While everybody was inside Flattoberfest, I think the only person here on panel that was actually in and got to see any of the speakers was Karen. And she was back and forth in 100 directions. We got to see Flattoberfest from a different view. We had the front room with the registration, and I did notice Kyle taking in on the interviews. And not only that, Kyle got the people that were curious that wonder, going through the hotel that were there for other conferences or just miss, going from the casino, getting lost and down the conference hallway. And we're like, what is this? And you guys aren't serious or that. Kyle was really front end with a lot of the people there and talking and explaining. And we got some people interested. We had people even buy tickets from the curious things, but what was going on in the front room was also, again, really intriguing as much as the back room. Kyle, that poster you have behind you, that's just beautiful. I have an edition that's signed by probably over 400 or how many people, because I tried to get everybody to sign it.
Yeah, I was gonna
as they
say,
came
like,
in.
I gotta know that, like, the ticket count in the very end here. Like,
Oh,
it felt
I
like
don't
there's
know. I don't
1,000 people
count.
there to me.
It felt like everywhere you went and everywhere you turned, they were there and you were surrounded. And with people in the chat rooms and people not and their wives, we met so many special people. Aisling 717 gave my wife and I an awesome presentation. It was a highlight of the time we had there. Thank you. No longer on the ball. It was a highlight of my time there. That's what I wish, and we'll do it again. We were talking about how we missed the full presentations and ways to present it out to get it to more people, but we had so much fun. Karen, thank you for hosting this. Thank you for making this happen. People say, what was it like on the events compared to the 2000, like the Dallas conference or the Denver conference on the internationals? I've been to all of the conferences, and I've worked registration at all of the conferences. I would have to say this one is ran the smoothest of any of the conferences, hands down, Karen B.
Really?
hands
Yeah.
down. As far as
Wow.
even, did you ever see a line for registration?
Not really.
Did we have one problem with registration? One.
Not that I know of.
No, not that you know of.
I guess that's true.
Little things about out of the people, I had so many people say it was the best conference they'd been to. I had one unhappy person, and out of a group of this many people, that I've done these conferences every year, that is at the last minute, and that just came from, I think it boiled down to talks at the end of the conference where they went into urine therapy, and somebody was really triggered by that. But it wasn't
Oh,
that,
yeah.
I mean, it was, in other words, they got triggered there, but it wasn't the conference. That was not the conference. That was like a little piece at it, itty bitty, but people had the best time. I would say it was as big as some of the international conferences, but we had a more of a fun tribal feel to it. It didn't feel.
Oh, Ted met Jay Tolan. I didn't get to meet Jay
Oh,
Tolan.
I met Jay Tolan. He was absolutely wonderful. It
He
had
was there?
oh yes,
Apparently
he did
he
come.
showed up for a while, but I didn't. I missed him.
Yeah.
He showed up Sunday afternoon. He was on the phone with Sharon, and he was like, "It's right there. It's around the corner." And so yeah, he drove over, and it was so nice to meet and talk to Jay Tolan. Another highlight, giving the presentations we have. I'll have to go over to the chat. I am tired. I'm having a hard time hitting. I left it on one screen, so I'm tabbing between it instead of trying to say what's on what screen at this point. But it's good to be back. We will get ready and start the show. But I think the friend of the show is talking about some Toober Fest experiences and special moments. I mean, I think that's worth touching on. And we have some people in the chat that can go back and forth. And then the wordplay are just different ideas on words. This is to make it a fun, interactive show. We're wiped, people. We're exhausted. We did not prepare hardcore, but this is something that I've wanted to do for a long time because words do have meanings. And as easy as little words like the world, that people are like, oh, you stupid flat earthers think that you go around the world, and how can that happen? The world is, if you do the etymology, it is the age of man. And so if you start substituting in age of man where you see world, things, you start to look at them differently. So there's a lot of words that we know, that we think we know. There's a lot of words that I use that I realize that being in a laboratory environment for over 30 years, that are not, it's not just part of a normal vocabulary. It's not that I'm any smarter. It's just that this was in trade. These were our trade words. So there's words that I use a lot that I'd like to just clarify and say, these words come up a lot. By the way, this is what they mean. Zach has a lot of words like that. It's a place to throw out words, word meanings in all different contexts. And I know that Karen and Kyle do that, but let's do Toober first, and then we can go on and have some word meanings. And people in the chat, I thought that would be a really fun one for you to throw out word and word meanings, because I knew you would have a lot for us.
Very cool. Yeah, good idea. All right, yeah, I got a Kyle for question. Was it anything like you expected it was going to be?
Was it anything like I expected it was going to be? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I just you never really expect all of the people that you're going to meet. I needed to meet you here today. You know what I mean? Those kind of things just happen, and just wow, I'm so glad I met you today. And yeah, those things are just unpredictable. So yeah, I can't say it was everything I expected it to be, but it definitely left me very, very satisfied and very happy in the end.
Awesome. And do you have now, which presenters did you get to see? Did you get to see any of them?
I got to see most of the presenters on the first day, and then the second day I was mostly out in the back there watching, doing the interviews and stuff.
And which one? Not like if you have to pick a favorite, but was there any that
pick a favorite,
out?
Kyle? Kyle, pick who was the best. Who was the best?
Who taught you something that you didn't didn't already look into or, have heard of? Was there anything brand new that was brought to the table?
It's kind of a blur trying to think back that far, that many days.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing I've always noticed about all of these events is whenever I got to watch, the presenters, especially when we were in the room with the presenters at some of them, I always learned something that I had never even heard of before. And it's like, how is there not like 100 videos on this already? And I was just wondering if that was still, because it's hard. It's hard to find new stuff. It really is. I mean, there is new stuff out there to find, don't get me wrong, but something big like the inverse square law of light when Bob had broken that one down at the one Flatober Fest.
Yeah, that
That
was
was
great.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I learned so much new stuff about all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, there's a couple of the videos I'm going to want to go back and rewatch as soon as they're, public and stuff.
I really
I'll
want to see the
definitely-
Greg Reese presentation. I heard he
Yeah.
did really well.
The one I really want to see is the sound bath. Did anyone get that one on video? The sound bath?
All of it should have been recorded.
Okay, yeah. The sound bath is one I really wanted to see. Though I don't imagine it's going to be anywhere near as good. Like, trying to watch at home on your computer. That was the one my wife and I just barely missed that one. Like, no.
Yeah, I heard nothing but good
I
about
heard
that sound bath.
so good about the sound bath. The sound bath was a huge hit, other than it put a lot of people to sleep because it was like so relaxing and yummy. They were like, it took them to a different place, but they're definitely.
I got an interview with the guy who did that, though, and yeah, he's one of our Utah flat earthers, and so
Nice.
Yeah, Chad Davis. He's really a really cool guy. Very nice man.
Yeah, so I'll get that one published sometime soon, and yeah.
And we had people from all over the plane.
Yes.
We have
Australia
Stephanie in the chat.
There's one from Australia.
Is Sandra
Yes.
here?
Stephanie in the chat.
I saw Stephanie. I think that's the Stephanie. Is that the same Stephanie?
That-
Yeah.
It's
Yes, that's her.
confirmed that is the same Stephanie. She came in with Sandra from Amsterdam,
Mhm.
and they had a nonstop Vegas to Amsterdam flight, and they were in the air and had much less travel time than like some of us that took the scenic. Sandra, you're here. Some of us that took the scenic Las Vegas to Los Angeles to Charlotte to Greenville.
One of those flights. It's like,
those-
hey, you missed my stop.
It was a super duper red eye, but we made it home gloriously, like actually in great shape. We had a great flight. We had it, we're on the first flight. They were overbooked and over things on the baggage where they checked the rest our baggage or our carry-on. They checked it through check-in through the rest of the flight. So we didn't have to like baggage through airport. We were free, could just sleep, kind of, sort of, but pretend to sleep. But it was a great time. Look at all the people in time. We have Sandra, we have Stephanie, we have Chicago artists that made us a plaque. I might have to get the plaque and I might have to pull the poster out because and I might need to stop having shiny apple syndrome. I'm talking and seeing messages from Stephanie. It was so nice to meet you too.
That's awesome. Whoa, who made that?
Chicago artist made that.
That is
Chicago.
beautiful.
Wow.
Are you showing it? Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. Damn it. Hold on.
That's Karen. Here, let me
Okay.
make this one. Look at
Oh,
that.
Karen. Oh, Karen. Hold on. I'm going to show you
I'll
what
go
he made.
grab it. I'll go get it.
Okay. Zach's going to get what? Oh, and look, there's a GLOBEBUSTERS on the stick thing. Oh, I haven't
Oh,
seen
whoops.
this one
How
yet,
do I
but
show-
look at this.
That looks like 3D.
It
It
is
is 3D.
It
It
is.
is 3D.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
That's
actually,
even
Lights
better.
up.
when he brought it to me, it lit up. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry, Chicago artist, but the light stopped working, and I don't know why.
But Zach will look at it and see
We
if he
can
can
fix
fix
that.
it
That
because
is so
Zach's pretty
awesome.
smart at that.
That is awesome, dude. Beautiful. No curve. Flat smack.
Now, while you're doing that and you've got the thing, I'm going to go get the poster then. We can all show
Okay.
like some memorabilia because I'm like
And the teddy bear is pointing at the K-bird.
Mhm.
The teddy bear.
One of the things that made me
That's
really happy
awesome.
about being there is just seeing the number of women that were there, like tons of like
Yes.
YouTube lies so much when it
Yes.
comes to their demographics thing. Like you
Yeah.
run analytics and all that, and oh yeah, it's like 90% men. I'm like, no. When we were there at Toober Fest, I want to say it was like 50-50. You know, if not, there were more women than there were men over there.
There are
Yeah.
a ton of women flat earthers. The problem with the women flat earthers is they don't go into chat rooms because we all get confused with what free speech is about. We call free speech meaning anybody can say whatever they want in the chat room and can be as rude and toxic. The women don't like the toxic chat rooms.
Yeah, well, that's a
If
good
you
thing.
have
So-
a channel, you are not, by moderating the chat, you are not taking away free speech. This is your free speech as a channel elder. Each person in your chat, that name comes with a YouTube account. They can say whatever the fuck they want on their whatever they want to say can be said on their channel. They have free speech. It doesn't give them the right to completely muddy up and make your chat so toxic that people don't want to be there because it's not friendly. So I think if we made our chats, not everybody, some people like that, but I think if some of the channels had more friendly chats, we'd see more of the women in them.
Yeah, I got one of those
Just a thought.
stickers. Those are awesome. Here is the one that Chicago artist made. Okay, and you can see it like sticks out.
Oh, I saw that one over there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
Isn't
made
that
that
cool?
is totally 3D, incredible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, just awesome.
I was really surprised by the watermelon and the cantaloupe you guys
Oh, we
carved
have to
over
bring up
there.
the
That's
pictures of the
Dr.
carvings.
Law.
Dr.
Dr.
Law.
Law did that. Wow.
Yeah.
Dr.
Yes.
Law, every time we have a gathering, Dr. Law will carve some fruit like that. But he doesn't always make it
Incredible.
Flattoberfest. That was special for Flattoberfest, which was awesome. But yeah, he carves the flowers and stuff into the cantaloupes and stuff.
Oh,
This, if you
wow.
remember Kyle's poster, I'll try to get some views of this one, that every square inch of it is covered with names. And this one, Karen, I'm going to have you scan, but we're going to put this one in a poster. There is not an area on it. And I don't know. I think the poster looks so much better when it's filled in with. You guys want to know how many people were there?
Right here, Karen.
Mhm.
Lowry's
Everyone.
accidental stage dive while retrieving inflatable globes was
Oh, you
priceless.
cut it.
So somebody had it on a live stream. They had to have. It's out there. Benny Boy, do you know whose live stream you were watching?
That was Brian Stavely that got that.
Was it Brian's?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you did get to see it on tape. Okay.
Yeah, I
We
saw
know
it.
you were looking for it.
His slow motion fall. And he fell in the back of the stage, like between the stage and the wall and the big screen. It's like he fell into like the void.
The crevice.
It was funny.
That is. Oh, I want to see it, and I want to laugh at him so hard for it. I really, really can't wait.
But yeah, Chief Crow put on an amazing show.
Oh, yeah.
I could just hear it, you know. Actually, I got the coolest thing. It was better than, well, I can't say because I really didn't get to see the live show. I was listening to it, but I got to watch he, Lowry, and Crumb, Don't Follow Crumb, all working together, like, you know, just working out the songs the day before, like they were rehearsing. It was so neat getting to watch real musicians. Like I've watched garage bands trying to figure out a song.
Just practice it.
You know, yeah, it'll take like an hour to figure out, you know, a couple different rhythm changes or something. And these guys are like 20 seconds. Yeah, and just doing it
They
perfect.
barely touch the guitar and it sounds good. I'm like,
like,
whoa.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, you think about like a lot of the big time like pop stars out there, and they've got to go out there and lip sync the whole thing to make it sound good. But no, these guys were like better than their pre-recorded stuff, and that's not lip syncing. That was really good.
Yeah.
It was better than their pre-recorded stuff.
Real artists. Yeah. It was really neat seeing Jaron again. I hadn't seen Jaron in a while. Got to see little Mav.
Oh, Maverick was so cute. Is so cute in that, but just to get to see him even cuter in person. Get to see Missa. good to see all of these people. It does something for you just to get together and get a hug. Ask the people in the chat. I know we've got a lot of them that were there. There's something different about the events in person, something magical about, again, when we gather. But it's regenerating, which is good because we needed it. Thank you
Yeah.
again, Karen,
Yeah.
putting
Thank you
my
so much.
puestos and toys away.
It was definitely needed. And a nice tribute to our fallen comrades who have
Yeah.
passed over the years. That was beautiful, Karen. I hope everybody gets a chance to check that one out.
Yeah, we'll have to upload it somewhere where we can because I've got some of that Guardian interview at the very end and they always strike you. Like, no
Yeah.
mercy. No mercy.
This for
But it's
people.
actually one of the best interviews with Bob that I know of. So
I think that was an outstanding. That one in the Channel 7 News in Denver was also a really outstanding interview, but the Guardian was good. For people that don't know and why this event and this festival was so special to me and touched my heart, she made the theme of it for discount sign up and use the code Thanks Bob. The festival theme was Thanks Bob. What a beautiful memorial and what a way it's something he would have, what a way to respect and do this. And for me to go, it was again like the biggest memorial. People came and told me stories. His poster, we had a big poster there. I don't know. I don't know how to put the special, and I can't capture in words the special of it and the environment and the tribute that she put on to Bob, but not only to Bob, but so many of them that have fallen in the community. Karen, you did such a nice job.
thanks.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
And we did it in a festival with a celebration. We celebrated their lives. She did point, all of the different things that celebrated the best of who they were. And it's, I know I can't speak for Bob. I did all the time. He'd even say if we disagreed, she's, right. So that's how marriage works. But I can't speak for Bob. He would have loved it. His family loved it on the Facebook, and everybody's seeing all the pictures and people posting the thanks Bob, and for his sister and family members and cousins and my mom and the different families to see the tribute to him. So it's not only in the community, but some of his family friends growing up that have known him. Again, one of the ones since they're like 14 or 15, they're looking at this and saying, what a beautiful tribute, and isn't that wonderful? So that is another thing, is all the messages I've been getting, not from the flat earth community per se, but from what a beautiful thing this was, from the family and friends of Bob from all across the realm.
And all across the realm. There was also France,
Oh,
Colombia, New Zealand, Australia. Oh, I know there were some more in there too.
There was South America. Did you
South.
say that one
Mhm.
already?
No, not
Colombia.
yet.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That was
Colombia.
Columbia.
Yeah.
Got an interview with her.
Wasn't that cool?
Yeah.
I was amazed at how many people were there from all these different places. It was awesome.
Sandra and Stephanie from Amsterdam, I'm sorry, you're my favorite. They were
Mhm.
across the hall and down a little bit from us.
Mhm.
And we got to meet and spend time with them, and that was very special. Ryan and Annie, the coin people, also so many special, wonderful relationships made. And who I really enjoyed talking to a lot was Chief Crow.
Oh, that was so
he's
cool.
awesome.
He is so awesome.
We would have hung out as
Mhm.
like teenagers.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
know, right?
Got into a lot of trouble together. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
so fun.
We were telling each other stories. Oh, we gave him some ideas for songs. I don't want to, just in case he does use it, I don't want to ruin it. But yeah, we were having a lot of fun walking around after this. Everything was over Sunday night and it was winding down. Me, him, and Cammy. What was it, like an hour maybe, Cammy?
Right, hour and a half, I don't know,
Yeah,
longer.
we were
We had
walking
a
around for a
great time.
while, just strolling, and yeah, it was really cool just getting to know them.
That's awesome.
But of course, yeah, Jana and Christy, mainstays, Christy Balderson, Jana, of course, who's everywhere all of the time. Just good people to be around. And saw so many people. Oh, when I met Stephanie, Steffi P, this was the best. Because I've been on the shows with her so many times, and because I see Brian, and because we interact, and because I do all of the conferences and all of the people events, I thought I knew her. So I was like, no, Stephanie, we've met. And she's like, I get to meet Cammie. It's like, Stephanie, don't be high. We've met. And she's like, no, it's not me. And I was like, okay. But it's funny because you interact with them, you get face to face with them, and you forget that, wait a minute, I haven't met in person yet. Yeah, for the most part, it's so magical meeting per person. But Steffi is enough that with the bitches brewing that it's like, damn it, I could have swore that we had. So that's fun too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a blast. Wish you all could have been there. Those of you who didn't make it, maybe next year. Wink, wink, Karen. Yeah.
Jana's in the chat. I wanted to see how my Jana was doing. I was giving you a day or two to recover. I know it's strong. And sweetheart, I just passed out. I'm just coming to life now. We passed out yesterday and did yard work all day today. So time to chat.
And of course, Nathan, commercial sound and video, who
Big shout out.
Held everything. Nathan, are you in the chat? Are you awake?
I haven't
yet,
seen
Nathan?
him. I haven't seen him in the chat today, so I don't know if he's around. But if he listens later, shout out to you, Nathan.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Nathan. You really, really
knocked it out of the park. It
knocked
always
it out of the
sounds
park.
good
Did
when
everything
he's
from
involved.
all.
Yeah, it always sounds good. The AV, everything, the video, it always looks good when at all these events that I've been to with Nathan.
Mm-hmm.
Putting them on. Yeah. Karen knows how to delegate. Yeah, I'm saying you're getting this down. You're going to be doing 4 of these a year here in no time. You watch.
Are you saying right now? She's not saying this week, a few days after, I'm never doing this again. So this is good. This is
Yeah, I'm
this
pretty
event went
faithful.
great.
When I saw
I'm
her, when
faithful
there were
too.
still 2 presenters to speak, and Karen was already smiling and like, kind of relaxing, like, this is going so cool. It's just gonna be cool for the rest of the night, and it's gonna be over. It seemed like you were already there.
Already
And I
there,
was
and that
like,
was so
yes.
early.
Yeah,
Think of
I
even
was
the
so
Spartanburg
relieved.
ones. You weren't there. You were not. You're
No.
not even close to it. And Robbie Davidson, God love you, he was at that point, just like, there was no. It's hard. People that have not put on the events, hearing every complaint and everybody that has a question about anything, be it where the bathrooms are, to what AV cables, for some reason think that they need to talk to Karen. So
It actually wasn't that bad though.
It wasn't that bad.
No, it really wasn't.
It wasn't at all. It was smooth. It was smooth. I am for some people in the chat that are saying wrench me, Cammie, and I know you in that. We're interacting with the chart. I am switching accounts and doing that as we're playing, so have patience. We're under this account.
Hey, don't talk about my sound and my sound guy in chat. You guys bad mouthing Nathan.
No
Did he
bad
yell at
mouthing.
you? Did you deserve it? Let's ask that question.
Yeah, let's go.
And then Jana's agreeing.
Well.
Yeah, she's allowed to. Okay, so Cammie, would you like to
that's
start
me.
us off with?
Oh, could I cover those 3 things?
No,
yeah,
no.
sorry,
He's
Kyle.
gonna cover it because I'm
ahead.
looking for some people I promised to wrench, and so you do that right there.
Okay, I'm
Jana, how
say my
can
3
that be
things?
you without a
Yeah.
wrench? Jana, how can you not have a wrench in my chat?
Okay.
Are
All
you
right,
a troll?
Kyle, it's all yours.
Okay, so while I was out there doing all these interviews with people, one major thing kept coming up, and I don't think anyone talked about it in any other talks or anything like that. But one of my favorite interview questions is, how has your family dealt with your whole flat Earth discovery and all that? And there's a lot of really positive comments, and then there's some people who are not doing so well with on the family aspect of things. And as we started talking about this more, the phrase kept coming up: don't pluck unripe fruit. Okay, if they're unripe and not ready for it, they're kind of showing resistance, you pluck that unripe fruit, it's going to be really bitter, and that's going to be the way it is for them. And so, kind of look for the areas that are a bit more ripe to bring up with them. Smaller things, much more obvious things. Although I guess for us, flat Earth is really obvious once you see it, but it's not that way with them in the very beginning. And so, kind of start out with the moon landing. If they can't handle the moon landing, flat Earth might be kind of tough for them or something like that. Or, if they're having a hard time with just the word conspiracy, and that's one of our definitions here we can talk about here, is conspiracy. The word conspiracy just means something that, like a crime that is agreed upon by two or more individuals. And so Watergate, that was a conspiracy fact, right? And so there's a lot of different, like two bank robbers. Anytime two bank robbers go out there and work together to commit a crime, that is a true conspiracy, right? And so it's kind of those really basic things. And so that was the big advice, was don't pluck unripe fruit. Wait till they're ready and then pluck it up. And that's going to really help things when it comes to family relations and flat Earth. The other thing that really kind of stood out to me was with the beautiful thing about the Flat Earth Conference is we get so many people there from so many different backgrounds. It's just a big melding pot there, right? And that's really exciting and really fun. But at the same time, with so many different cultures and backgrounds, we get a lot of different beliefs. And so even just among the speakers, a lot of speakers might say something that you might not agree with. And that might feel really, icky kind of hearing to that. And so, it's going to happen when it comes to so many people from so many different backgrounds. And, we are there to just kind of celebrate the common ground that we do have, and just kind of embrace them coming from their different background, kind of embrace the differences, even though they might say something that you disagree with. So that's going to be kind of one of those things. The other thing that really, that's number 2, is embracing the differences. Number 3 was to help others raise their lights, because sometimes, like, you might not see a light that quite shines as bright as you would hope it to be, like among speakers or anyone else over there, but you can be your own light there. If you feel like you've got something great, get out and go start talking to people, you know what I mean? And man, there's just some real gems in there among the other people that you talk to. And so that was kind of one of the things that I really, really enjoyed, was seeing the light that other people had just in the audience there, and helping them raise their lights, giving them that chance to shine. That was just amazing. And so if anyone in the future would like help kind of speaking, I'd like to help them stand up and speak up and share their story. That's just amazing. I think those are kind of the 3 things, is kind of be a light yourself. Don't just go there to take and from other people, but actually contribute. Share your light with other people. And when you share your light with other people, sparks will fly, because you don't go there without any light whatsoever. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
awesome.
even Danny Faulkner over there, the one anti-flat earther, was he giving any of you guys any trouble or anything like that?
No.
Yeah, he was just kind of
Oh,
over there,
no.
just kind of watching, like kind of like a passive investigator. It's kind of seemed that way to me. And so I don't.
He asked me for a picture. We took a picture.
Yeah, we all
together.
took pictures
We all
with him
took
and
pictures
stuff.
of them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
He's
did
always been real polite.
demonstrations.
He's always been real polite. I'll
Mhm.
give him that.
So I was really happy about that. And even with someone like him, like, there's common ground we can find with him somewhere. And so
He'll be
that's kind of
watching.
embracing that.
Yeah. Kyle, he does watch the show. He will be watching, and I was watching on the live stream instead of on our stream, which puts me back. So you're stopped moving there. That's a rookie mistake. But he does watch our shows. I found it fascinating. He watches all of the GlobeBuster tech stuff
Oh, great.
and all of the GlobeBuster stuff. And I had to say, I was like, you got me, Danny. I want to know. I was like, you're an astrophysicist. You write off, you author all of these books. You do all of this biblical. And I'm sitting in Spartanburg in my office with my crystals and my trees and my river. Why are you obsessed with this? What what is that? I mean, that's kind of like stalking. What's
He's
going
been to
on?
every one of
He's
these,
been to every
hasn't
one
he?
of these
The Flattoberfest, I
conferences and watched all the Bob. He went out and bought a Miroscope even and did things.
think.
And
Do you think he's the federal agent?
no, I asked him why he was obsessed with it, and he said because it destroys his entire life's work.
Oh,
He
wow.
had I mean, that's a. No, I'm kind of flattered that he's watching our channel. I'm flattered, Danny. I really am. But if it did destroy your whole life's work, and you're really looking and confronting honesty, if you think that you had the books or anything there, just think of what it would be like to have. This isn't that the cat's not going back in the bag. This is just growing and growing and growing. But just think of the open book of things that you can actually connect and tag correctly for the flat earth and be the first person to do it. You could have your Danny. If you want to have if you want to be legendary, you could be.
I sent him an
Open your eyes.
interview. Sorry, I sent him a message, kind of, just kind of saying, "Hey, I'll give you the same respect. I can shut up about my beliefs, and I'll just listen to you and hear what you have to say." And he hasn't quite responded to that or anything like that. But I'm totally sincere. Yeah, I'm willing to give him the same respect.
I told him with sincere respect that like when we go over when I was doing the work, it's like this isn't a debate land. If you find something that does not work in physics or in reality that I am missing, if I am missing something, and you see something that has a logic fault and doesn't work in here, and you say, this isn't right, I go, this will be the most productive like time of my entire, like probably the month and my time at the conference. If you find these things, because then I won't waste time because we're looking at possibilities. But I was like, can you find something with the magnetics that doesn't work, or can you find other than the fact that it's not the globe model? I mean, can you find a working?
Yeah. What we like is in-depth statements, not just, well, you just don't understand. We don't like the shallow, trollish statements where they're just, all they're saying is, I refuse to be persuaded by what you're saying. That's all they're saying. If it's just shallow like that, just, you just don't understand. It's just them saying, I refuse to let you try and persuade me.
Right, and with what I'm working on, which is possibilities of things working on the flat Earth, I don't have that wall at all, because I'm not working with anything other than does it work with reality? Does it work in reality? Which is the simple, without adding any forces, no dark matter, no anything, but just working with the baseline of it flat. And the thing about it is things start solving themselves when you straighten out your baseline. It's that's what I mean is he should, like you're seeing a lot of the different things start filling themselves in on the map and with the physics and that. You don't need the gravity if you do the incoherent magnetism with the electrostatics. And again, you combine our forces with the buoyancy density, you combine those together. All of these forces, like they say, they don't need gravity to take force until you go out into outer space and have the planets orbit each other. All of our forces of how we're held together on Earth and stick to the Earth are all accounted for in physics and reality. They just buried them and doubled them over because they need that ball.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, off topic. Okay,
Are
back on topic.
you ready to start talking about some words, or do you have anything else you'd like to say about Flattoberfest or the weekend? Vegas, I didn't see much of Vegas. Like I said I was going to do. I went to Sam's Town. We did go out for breakfast with Karen and Ted
We
and
went to
made a
Walmart.
stop. Yeah, we did walk across the road to Walmart But yeah, didn't hit the strip or none of that stuff. I wasn't
Mm-mm.
interested.
No.
We were busy.
But I
I
had a
really
great.
didn't
I gotta
do.
say, Sam's Town was very nice. I was thinking off the strip, it might, might be a little dingy in the corners here and there or something like that. That place was spotless. The staff was really nice to us. I had, yeah, no complaints, Karen. That was a great pick.
Well, thank you.
And
I guess I
there's a
lucked out.
forest, like a rainforest, in the atrium in the
That
center.
was my favorite part. I was like, there's trees in here. I can
Real
just
Yeah.
go inside
tree.
and there's a tree. Ah, that
Yeah.
makes me feel better.
Yeah, I liked just being around there because there's kind of a natural air filter too with all the water,
Hmm.
and so that was really nice. The only thing I just wish was there was more places to do more quiet interviews. It was really loud right there, so I'm like, I really want to do stuff right here, but it's just so loud. But yeah, other than that, loved it.
Yeah, great pick, Karen. For
Well, thank you.
being Vegas, I don't think you could have picked a better spot.
Yeah, it
Karen,
worked. It worked out.
anything you would have changed your overall? I mean, it was nice.
Um, yeah,
What
I
did
don't
we
know.
learn? What did we learn? What can we do easier next time so it goes even more smoothly? Because that filing the badges by the first name was like a oh,
That's huge. I mean, there's some other things I could do
those are
that are
silly things. Yeah,
that are not interesting enough to talk about on stream. They're
exactly.
just
I
stupid
get it.
things, but
This right there was too. It absolutely
It's
was.
kind of early to think about next year. Let's cross that bridge when we get
Let's
to
do
it.
it.
When we get a little bit closer, let's just celebrate what we had, and then as things get a little bit closer to next year, then we can start, thinking, oh well, maybe we could do this different, like beforehand rather than after.
hmm
And one of the coolest things I thought was we had a newbie, only been at it for like a few months, from North Carolina. He came
that's
all the way to
right.
Vegas when like
Wow.
the last 5 festivals have been like in his
Right here.
backyard.
I know, and it's because he was new. He's a new flat
Yeah.
earther. So, I can't remember his name, but you know who you are. I'm
Welcome. You're
sure
in a
we'll
very
see.
fertile community in this part of the country because we have, well, I think it's getting like that everywhere, but we have a lot of locals and it's everywhere you go.
I think
I
that's part of the
found,
fun about growing this community and seeing the numbers
Mhm.
is as we get to know them better, you get to find more of your individual clicks, I guess you could say, the people who like really resonate. And so like you get to see that, oh wow, there's this many Christian flat earthers and there's this many Jewish flat earthers and there's this many like non-religious flat earthers and and so there's a lot more stuff like that you can start to organize your own individual meetups if you wanted to get more to your particular fancy, I guess you could say.
Well, yeah, we gave him Brian's stream. We
yeah,
gave him all Brian's channels and said, if you want to know about local meetups around here, this guy has them like all the time. He goes to Charlotte. He'll go out, to the beach. Karen, you go with him to a lot of those. But yeah, Brian's always talking about when and where the meetups are going to. And then I told him Mark's channel. Keep an eye out on Mark's channel
Hmm.
because a lot of people will share their meetups with Mark to share. Just watch
That's
Strange World on Unveiling This Realm.
If anything, that's what I really want people to take away is just I want to inspire them, to go out and do their own meetups because their flat earthers are everywhere. And yeah, we can only be in so many places at once,
Exactly.
Yeah.
when
They're happening a lot more with this whole clock app thing. It's done amazing things when it comes to really making it super easy to just form your own meetup and find people just like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
for logistics, because I asked when it would like break a little bit, how did people find Flat Earth? How did they get to the conference? What's their story coming in? I had no fewer than 10 and possibly more than that, Karen, and you're going to find this interesting. I did, but we knew it would happen. People that heard about it back in 2017, 2018, they kind of looked into it, thought it was dumb, right?
Hmm.
And then, like, as they were flying and as they were doing different things, they started doing more and more questions. And they even said with the beer bug, and with different things that didn't hold out, that they were like looking that it kept on coming back, and I had more than one people that say with beer bug and that when it was off that they revisited it then, but they wouldn't have before. But it was like the seeds being planted and breaking it the first time, that like they were really resistant the first time. But then as they started looking around, seeing how far, then you start questioning it. If that seed is planted, you start questioning when you see something way too far away, or again, when things don't work the way that they're supposed to. Again, and when you're flying all kinds of different things, watching the NASA launches all around, all across the board, you plant that seed and they start looking at things with a critical eye, and the globe doesn't hold up to reality. But I think it's funny that like all of these seeds that we planted, and again, you thought there was nothing, they are coming to fruition. It is getting a lot. The one thing that's really changed is when you talk to somebody, flat smack, flat touch, or flat, however you go up and you introduce the talk flat earth to people, the reaction you get now compared to what you did 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago is that 100th monkey effect is in effect. It's not, it's very rarely hostile. And I had one gal, that was like, really? You think the earth is flat? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, that makes a whole lot of sense if you stop and think about it. And I was like, you're not telling me it's even stupid first. You're sitting here and going like, well, that kind of would make sense because it would be the ball. And it's like, you hadn't heard of it and you're telling me about it. And this was the fastest flat smack ever is I introduced the idea and she gave me reasons why it might work. And I was like, wow.
Watch
That
the
was
lights turn
new.
on.
That was a new experience. That was the first time I ever had that experience, was at a casino in Vegas. And I do think she may have been a prostitute, but because she didn't want to follow and continue walking down the hallway, she acted like she might get in trouble.
It's possible.
But it's possible. But she was nice, and she was like really, really like, yeah. She was questioning like water balls. I was like, yeah. And we had a whole bunch of other people in the ladies' bathroom, like pondering and scratching their heads on it too. So it was a good bathroom flat smack. But
That's so funny.
oh, words have meanings. We're going back on topic. Does anybody have any words that they want to cover? Or do you want me to start throwing some out and get us started? Or how do you guys want to
Model.
play tonight?
Model. Yeah.
Okay, tell us about model, Kyle.
Okay.
What
A
do you want me
model is defined as a standard example or imitation or comparison, right? So we can always point back to Professor Dave explains, you guys have no model. I'm like, guys, come on, seriously? We just hold up a picture of the Gleason map. That is imitation. It's a comparison. It's a standard example. It doesn't, maybe it might not be perfect in every aspect of the means, but it's still just a basic kind of expression. It shares the thought of the basic mechanics of it. The Flat Earth Clock app, it shows you how it's got the equator and how the sun goes around the earth, and it's a basic thought expression, and that is a model. The clock app map is a model, right? Every video we make about the flat earth, that is expressing different aspects of how the flat earth works. That lesson itself is a model. And so yeah, people need to acknowledge that we have a model.
Has anybody, because I have so many globes, and we blew up the one that would probably have the best sticker on it. That was, I think, at the last party at Jack's that we blew up that one. But I still have like the little globes. I know the one thing I have in common with every globe I have is it's not for it's not for official use. It's just a decoration. But I don't think a globe exists that you could measure measurements from here to here and get the mileage. And what they do to us, you can't do on a ball and get it to work either. They can sit there and say, sure, if you go into the computer and we put this latitude and and program this in, and I realize we have altitude, but you'll find out, you would think that if they're modeling a ball, think about it, in this day and age, and if we live on a globe and we have our satellites and we have all of this perfect imagery and everything, we know the blue marble, why can they not in CAD engineering reproduce this and put the continents in the right place and make it so the measurements, so things would be, when you put the ruler on it, they would measure? How hard would that be? How honestly, how hard? This is the place we live, And yet there is not one globe that says it's not to be used for that purpose.
And
It's
I don't want to
never
hear the whole
years.
idea. You know how they'll say, well, it's not a sphere, it's an oblate
Oblate
spheroid.
Yeah.
spheroid.
Yeah, about as oblate as a cue ball, people. Okay? It is like more perfectly
According to
spherical
them.
than a pool ball has to be a regulation pool ball.
Yeah, the bulge is like supposed to be 14 miles at the equator, which when you're talking about an
Yeah,
Earth the size they say
4,000
it is,
miles. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
it's not.
nothing. Teeny tiny.
And if the
Yeah.
surface is that smooth, if you were to flatten it out, that's a really flat Earth. If the
Mhm.
surface
Oh
is
yeah,
that smooth.
Mount
Mhm.
Everest. Like if you took the what they give us, Antarctica's edge to Antarctica's edge, just 24,000 miles, we'll say 900 and whatever, and you squinched it down to a 1 foot pizza tray, right? And then you scaled everything down. Mount Everest would be less than the height of a human hair's width on that pizza tray, about 3/4 of an inch long. You'd lay
Mhm.
a 3/4 inch long piece of human hair, and that would be taller than Mount Everest coming off of that pizza tray. That's how flat it is. You would barely even notice it. You'd barely notice Mount Everest poking up off the pizza tray. Yes, it is extremely, extremely flat when you scale it.
Mhm.
Yep. So I like that one, Kyle. Model. That's a good one. Because yeah, we hear that all the time. You don't have a working model. You don't have a working model, and like you said, it's just a presentation,
Mhm.
something
Yeah.
that
An illustration.
illustration, something that explains a certain aspect of something.
And I
I
want to
think
see
that's
the
a,
working globe. I mean, I really do want to see a working globe that they say would work if I took a ruler to it and measured, or a tape, not a ruler because it's stiff, but you know what I mean. Measuring
yeah.
device.
I keep seeing this come back, don't pluck
Mhm.
unripe fruit. Okay. If they can't acknowledge a pebble, okay, if they can't acknowledge a pebble, what makes you think you could get them to acknowledge a boulder? Right? Just a
Yeah.
teeny tiny thing. Just the word, just model. Okay. That's a really simple, basic thing. A pebble. And if they can't acknowledge that, man, yeah,
Yeah,
don't
like
try to
when
push
I
anything
put
else on them. They're
together
just a troll.
I had models when I was younger. I used to do a lot of World War II planes, fighter planes and bombers and stuff like that. And none of those worked. There was no little person you could put in there and then they could go and fly that thing around. It was a representation. It wasn't, a 3D illustration at a much smaller scale of what it was. It was a
That's like
model.
you're only a toy.
Yes. But yeah, that's the
Hmm.
model. So yeah, that was a great one, Kyle. That one didn't pop in. I've been trying to think of ones all day today, just little words that we hear all the time that people say and use, and they're not used correctly.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
model, that's a good one. I had never looked into the actual definition of model before.
Yeah, it's a lot of those really basic ones that, you think just everybody knows it, but apparently not. Not when they're making just like really crazy claims like that. Just, you have no model. I'm like, come on. Just look at the definition, the basic definition. Yeah.
All right, what's another good word?
Evidence.
Evidence. All right.
Evidence. Yeah. You have no evidence. Okay. But really, like a testimony it qualifies as evidence, right? A testimony. Okay. We have a lot of testimonies of people saying, yes, the earth is flat, right? And yeah, sure, they got a lot of testimonies going, oh, the earth is a globe. That'd be Buzz Aldrin over there. Oh, yeah, the earth is a globe. Yeah, I acknowledge that they have testimonies and they have evidence, but it's not exactly convincing evidence for me. But yeah, we definitely have a lot of evidence. And yeah, not every piece of evidence will convince them, especially if they're griping over little pebbles and refusing to acknowledge them. But yeah, it is what it is. Okay, evidence is defined as that which tends to prove or disprove something. Ground for belief. Okay, proof. Okay, so I like a sign or indication of something. Okay, so my daughter has her her head feels kind of warm. Okay, that is evidence that she might have a fever. It's not for sure yet, because my hand just might be cold because I just washed my hands or something like that, but it's evidence that she might have a fever. And so a head feeling warm is evidence. But again, there's a difference between convicting evidence and non-convicting evidence.
Yeah, that's a good one. Because people use evidence all the time. Like you said, you have no evidence, you have no proof.
They just make these blatant statements thinking, oh, I've got you. I've got you here. Like, you make really big claims like that, and it just makes you look bad. Yeah.
Okay, before we go on to another word, I got to say something. I love seeing this in chat. After
All
these
right.
festivals, when people, when we have these, and this one had more first timers, I think, than I've ever seen.
Since
Besides maybe the very
2020.
first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there were so many new people. It was overwhelming. Saw a lot of faces, missed a lot of faces. The cool ones are the ones like Dennis and Matt and the people that aren't in chats ever. I mean, Dennis does call Strange World, but you really don't see him in chats. There's people that are always at all of these events. Every single event I've been to, they've been to every single one of them, and I've never seen them in an online presence anywhere.
Yeah, they a lot of them just don't have YouTube channels, and part of standing up and speaking up is making your presence known. And so that's my hope, is as I go out and do these interviews, I can help inspire people to to get out more, to make their voices known, let people know where they stand. Don't be ashamed of calling yourself a flat earther.
But yeah, I love seeing in chat all the people that got to meet for the first time now saying, "Oh, it was so great to meet you. It was so." I love seeing that.
It's building those relationships. There's no
Yeah,
replacement for that.
there's a face now. There's a memory that you have with that person of this that happened or that happened, or we were standing in this spot at this time. Yeah, it's just like you said, it makes it more intimate now. There's
Yeah.
more there than just a picture and a name and a comment. Now
It's
it's
kindred.
yeah.
They're kindred.
So
They're
I love seeing
so
it. But
nice.
That was the hard part for me, is I kept getting torn, because I wanted to go sit with my wife and go watch the presentations, but I'm like, I gotta go talk to people too. Like, I'm kind of getting torn both ways, because I was just really happy because, when we're away from the kids, she actually had the opportunity to just sit down and listen. And, those are really tough moments to get with her, where I can get her to sit down and listen to flat earth content, from other creators. She gets from me all the time because I'm always talking about it, but not from other people. It's hard for me to get her to
Right.
sit down and watch someone else's content. And
So it's
that's a treat.
kind of
So I
magical
really
for
loved
her to
getting her
have
to,
it.
yeah. I really love getting her to, sit down and listen to, some of my, great heroes. I was telling that to Mark Sargent over there. These are the heroes you want to meet. Yeah, these are the heroes you
so
want
many
to
times. And I heard
meet.
that. I've heard that at a lot of the conferences, but I heard that a lot this one. Even Chief Crow said it. He's like, you come to these and you're not really sure if the people are going to be the same people they are online. Like, is Karen going to be Karen, or is Cammy going to be Cammy? And he's like, and you guys are. It's no different than sitting here listening to you in my living room like I do every week, and I'm sitting here talking to you, and it sounds like the exact same person. The same facial expression, everything. We're just people. And I don't think any of us here wanted, that we didn't start talking about flat Earth because we wanted to be famous. That's not how you get famous, by talking about flat Earth.
Mm-mm.
I had
No.
to practice for a couple of years to go on camera because I was camera shy. If you remember the beginning of shows where I'd run through the camera and be like scared, like there's a camera there. I think one of the first times it was just classic because we were in a hangout. We were with Jaron and Missa and I think Patricia, a whole bunch of people in this hangout thing. And Bob called me over to sit down, and Mrs. typing to Bob about how I'm like looking like a totally frightened. This, I don't know. Was it a frightened chicken or frightened deer? Just like horrible or whatever. And I'm like smiling, text back because I had Bob's phone. So I was like, really that bad? I was like, yeah, it's really like she looks bad, and this is like, I know that. It's like, yeah, because I know it's horrible. I'm terrified of the camera, but yeah. Not only didn't want to be stars, but I didn't like cameras in front of my face. So you buck up, little camper, sometimes and do what you don't want to do if things are important.
Yep.
We all do what's needed. I definitely like in person better. You can ask Stephanie, you can ask Sandor, you can ask Chicago, you can ask any of the people when you can no longer on the ball, talk to them, when you can actually show up with them and people, and you can have them show, hold the different objects, feel it, touch, see what they're looking at, do the presentations. It's a whole different ball game. It's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. So thank you everybody that came and did that with me.
I mean, it's something that we could show you up on stage and it'd be kind of like a YouTube video, or it's something that we could put in your hands and let you play with one-on-one individually and actually,
Yeah.
see that it works and know that. I mean, I brought my gyroscope, but I fired it up one time for Stephanie and Xander, and the ball bearing was just screaming at me. I hadn't greased it. I didn't check it before I left. I should have. We have two of them, and this one's been sitting for a while. So yeah, I didn't want to bring it out anymore. I have to oil it up real good and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't have any of my, because I didn't getting oil and all that kind of stuff. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I'll just leave it. But yeah, the ball bearing was starting to go. It didn't sound good, but a couple people got to feel it, and I got to
And
see
when
their
you're traveling
faces light up.
longer distances, it's harder to bring everything with you. I
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah.
You can't just quite bring your Van de Graaff generator on the plane or something like that.
Yeah. So
We have ideas also of things that we want to set up to do other exhibits and hands-on things that are going to be really cool. We were talking about it earlier today. Different things that will show like sunrise, sunset over again, the area where it breaks out, where you break up into again your little area, and the way that you see how it brings it into position. It's pretty cool. Again, we'll work on we'll work on it in the background.
all right. So any other words, Kyle, off the top of your head?
I really liked Sylvia. Sylvia, she was the one who did the big biblical presentation about the scattering and gathering of Israel. Man, she was so much fun to talk to. She just she's one of those people that I'm like, I really am happy you're here. I'm really glad I got to meet you because
She's the sweetheart.
There's
Yeah.
a major connection that just happened when I started really talking to her and getting to know her better. But it wasn't just with her, but there was so many other people. But yeah.
I have all of her information, by the way, Kyle, if you wanted. I talk to Sylvia all the time and go back and forth, so I can.
She's so cool.
Yes,
She's
she
so
is.
cool.
Yeah.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, she's the one who sells all the children's books and stuff.
Mhm.
It's like poetry. I love her stuff.
Yeah, when it comes to trying to help other people find the Christian flat earthers out there, she's one that I just want to take everyone over there and you gotta meet her. You gotta meet her. Yeah.
For sure.
I wish I found her sooner. Right in the very beginning.
She's been at the last 2 or 3 of my events. I think.
I
think the last
at least
3
I
now.
think 3 of them now because we
Yeah.
did a book together. We did a book together over moon phases on it, Kyle, and different things. But she's been, I mean, she goes to all the events. She's really special. She's just a very decent, warm. Again, we talk back and forth all the time, just randomly over how different things work. We've had
she's
an
a little angel in
ongoing-
the corner there. That
Yeah.
if you go, she was kind of quiet a little bit, and so you have to kind of get over there before you really start talking to her. But once you start talking to her, man, there's good vibrations there.
Oh, Guyana Spice, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Stay strong and courageous and fearless. That's what we all need to be. Thanks, Bob, for teaching us, but we definitely need to stay strong, courageous, and fearless. Things are changing, and this is time where we push the hardest when the voices are hoarse and this and that. But yeah, thank you. That means a lot.
Absolutely. Awesome stuff. Okay, so some words. What's another word?
I'll throw out words.
Throw out a word. What's a word that people use a lot in these this community, or not just this community, you know, the conversation, that they might not actually know what it means, and they're hearing them repeating what someone else said.
Okay, I'm going to throw you for a loop. I'm not going to do that correctly because I don't follow directions well. I'm going to pick a word that I use a lot that the community probably wouldn't understand because I lived in my own little world, but I'm going to continue using it a lot. So I'm just going to tell you all what it means. So when, because I've had so many people tell me, Cami, what does augment mean? When I talk about if you made the miroscope out of like the noble metals or made it metallic or whatever, it would augment the functions. I use it in a lot of different areas. Augment is to add to or make greater, but it's more than just like a little like it's more than just an amplification. The way I use it, or the way that it's usually used, it's adding something to it that changes the way. So again, if you introduced parabolic function to something that would augment, to make it stronger.
When I think of the
So
word augment, I think of augmented reality. You're adding something to reality that isn't really there, kind of a thing with the glasses.
So in augmented, let's see what the actual, if I read the definition of it, it says make something greater by adding to it to increase. He augmented his summer income by painting houses. That's, what's the meaning of it? What's the meaning of the word augment? To make larger, enlarge in size, number, strength, or extent increase. His salary is augmented by a small inheritance. They're going to, when we take different meanings, augment implies addition to what is already, I'll call this one on Merriam-Webster. I will agree with the way I use it on it. Augment implies addition to what is already well grown or well developed. And the way I use it is usually not adding some of the same thing to it. It means that some other action makes that action stronger. Some other action has another, if that in other words, like for instance, there's either amoxicillin or penicillin, I forgot which one, and there's a drug out there that's called augmentin, and they found out that if you mix something with the penicillin, it makes the penicillin a lot stronger without making a higher dose of it. The same if you have grapefruit juice, it augments the dosage of a lot of things by drinking the grapefruit juice because it makes that drug metabolize more. So it increases it, but you have your main thing there that gets increased by another action instead of just amplifying what's there. Does that make sense?
I didn't know that about grapefruit juice. Wow.
Yeah, grapefruit juice will affect a lot of pharmaceuticals. So if you're on like different heart medications and that, if you take it something Diogen or whatever, if you take grapefruit juice, it will make what you're on a lot stronger. It can you have to be very careful. You can increase your dosages without meaning to, because your body will absorb it better.
Interesting. Yeah, I
So
was just
that
thinking
would
about
be
that just
it.
with caffeine, like taking a Mountain Dew with some grapefruit juice or something like that, and like getting a stronger dose of caffeine or something like that.
So no, like again, a chemical thing can change and make stronger, or again, the way it affects you. So that would be like something that augments. I use augment a lot. I've noticed I use it a lot in a lot of functions, along with words that you guys all would like, coefficient, codependent, which I think are pretty self-explanatory. But that was just a weird word that I use a lot that I didn't realize is not really so much out there. So I'm putting it out there. And any questions on it? So yeah. So that didn't have to do with like flat Earth, but it threw it out there on one that I used. With flat Earth, you have Zach. I'm looking at different things on there. Some of the words you have dielectric. You wanted to cover azimuth.
Well, let's just do dielectric real quick. That's easy.
Yeah, that's easy.
Dielectric is one of those words that, you know, people hear it, and I hear a lot of people use it, but I don't think they realize that they themselves are a dielectric. I'm a dielectric. The tree is a dielectric. The car is a dielectric. The air is a dielectric. The clouds are a dielectric. All matter within here is a dielectric.
When I think of the word dielectric, the things that come back to me is it was that magnetism experiment with Action Lab, where he's kind of showing how wood is magnetic, and he's like, it's dielectric, I think, or diamagnetic. Oh, that's probably the word I'm getting confused with. Is it kind of along the same line as diamagnetic, where he's
Yes.
kind of showing that a piece of wood is
They-
magnetic?
Well, you're going to have your electrics and your magnetics. Remember how they're different sides of the same coin or whatever? So you're going to have diamagnetic, dielectric, paramagnetic, paramagnetic, and ferroelectric.
Kind of
The
very
one thing
similar concepts here.
the one thing that you're going to have true to all of them is think of and Zach will do other ways of doing it, but think of your dia portion as something that 100% of everything is dielectric and diamagnetic. 100% of everything is. It's almost like your recessive, your O blood. If you added an A to it, you would call it an A blood. It's pretty much a recessive. If something is diamagnetic and also possesses a para quality, the para quality is much stronger than the dia. The dia is very weak. So you're going to override it and call that paramagnetic or paraelectric. The same with ferro. If it's got that sticky action, you're going to call it ferromagnetic or ferroelectric. But they all are still dielectric. It's just that this other force that they have alongside with it, the co-force they have with it, comes with an additive, is the stronger the forces, and that's how they're going to name it. And it gets very, very confusing because what they've done with this is they've really messed us up in our learning. They've taught us magnetism is sticky ferro only, and these other things they've pretty much taught us to just be fearful of electricity, stay away from it, it's dangerous. Somebody at the conference showed me these wild pictures. I have to look it up and see where it's wild with people at the turn of the century where they had umbrellas, lightning hitting them and bouncing off of the umbrellas, and they had grounding wires on it. And they used to take like electrical baths out in the rainstorms and try to get hit by lightning and having it ground to energize themselves. Have you ever heard of that, anyone? Or
Using an umbrella to energize yourself? It
think
kind of
of
sounds like grounding a little bit, but I haven't quite heard of grounding with an umbrella.
Zach, you're on mute.
They have a lightning rod on
They have a
top of the
lightning.
umbrella, and they're actually trying to get lightning to strike it, and then it runs to the ground around them.
Yes,
Just
I know. We're
crazy.
just like
You're
horrified by
trying
it.
to get struck by lightning.
Yes, and it shows these party of people out all holding their umbrellas with their little lightning rods on top, and all of the umbrellas have a ground wire that run from the rod to the ground. But it's like a party of people out trying to get struck, and it's like I think again
I need to look into it. I want to
we have to
see
look into
what
it
they were
more.
actually trying to
I
accomplish.
haven't heard of this before. It sounds interesting.
Yeah,
Hopefully, it's better than the Tide Pod challenge.
somebody
It
might.
sounds very
Yeah,
dangerous to me.
I'm gonna see if I can get anything where we're looking in another direction. Unless you guys want me to come up with another word, or Karen, do you have a word? Do you have a word? Any word? No word.
That's enough step for
She's
head.
on mute.
I think
Yeah, no
that might
worries.
be something we can do in
No
the future.
words.
Is when we start
Mhm.
talking about things, maybe we can like write down our vocabulary words anytime we kind of start to say something like it's on a higher vocabulary to make it more acceptable for basic beginners, I guess you could say. Like the word analemma, for example, like that.
Right.
That's something that a lot of like the older flat earthers, like they get it because they've really gone and studied it. But a lot of them are like, what's an analemma? And, yeah. And
You got some
so
words
I'd
in
like
your
to
list
talk-
here like azimuth. Did you talk about azimuth yet?
No, that's a good one though.
And
That's when
cardinal.
you'll hear people say, and these both have to do with directions, like on maps or like when you're reading a compass. People will say, well, what is the azimuth reading of that star, sun, moon, a luminary? Now, azimuth is just from your location, the reading that you get on a compass. Now, it's usually from true north. You'll do magnetic declination like in the math on the side, but they'll go from true north. What is your your azimuth? So your compass reading, if like true north is 0, then that star is, 75 degrees to the right, to the east. That's your azimuth reading.
Yeah. Just One thing that I like to point out, and just in case people don't know, is like azimuth. It's like when you see that dome, like you'll have the person in the middle of the circle on the flat plane, right? And then there's the dome, which is the view, the visual reference from the person. The
Oh,
elevation is the up and down, and the azimuth is the left to the right. So you have that's why you have two coordinates. You have the elevation coordinate, and then you have the azimuth coordinate, which is telling you, east or west from north, like Zach is saying, right? It's the left to the right way, if that makes sense. Because
Mhm.
you
thank you,
have
Boston
so
Bear.
many degrees of elevation above the horizon, which is the ground, from the ground up from your point of view, and that's your angle of elevation. And then from there, you're either going to be east or west of north. So the azimuth is that. And that's why the AE map is azimuthal equidistant, right?
Exactly.
Because it's relating to a compass here, kind of
Yeah,
finding your orientation on a compass. So
exactly.
shooting an azimuth is something you do with the compass. Yeah.
Big shout out to Run Boston Bear. Said, meeting you all at Flattoberfest was amazing. Thank you for everything each of you do to bring truth to people. We may not have all the answers, but we explore. But as we explore, we aren't lying to you about what we find. Exactly, friend. That was very awesome meeting you. Thank you again so much for that. That helps, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's so cool, and I have a face that I see when I see Run Boston Bears name in chat. It's like boom. If I saw him on the street, I'd be like, "Hey, what's up, man?" It. That's why I love these meetups and these events, and especially the time right after them, because it's still fresh and it's still, yeah, it's just, oh, the electricity. I've got so
Right.
Well,
much
Yeah.
I just
energy.
wanted to stay there so much later at night, but like you get the end of the day, you're like dead. Just like, where did all my energy go? The moment you get back to the room, you just crash.
Yeah.
Ren's Boston Bear was one of those that I don't know, I thought I clicked with you, Ren Boston Bear. I had a great time. You're somebody I do want to pop over to your channel and do some different things with you. Definitely enjoyed it more than I can say right now. Commercial sound and video, you're here, you made it, Nathan.
I also see Richard B in chat. He's from
And Mojo.
Australia.
Yep,
In the US till tomorrow.
that was so cool meeting you, Richard.
Yes, it was.
Safe travels home, friend. Can't wait to see you again. Maybe next time we'll be in Australia, Karen. Maybe.
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't it?
Or even Europe.
Yeah.
We could, it's not a bad idea to do a Europe conference and show them how it's done. A little over the pond challenge.
But yeah, see,
Show
this
them
is
a little
so
bit
cool
of Karen
again.
B. Southern hospitality.
Oh man, that's one thing I would like. It'd be nice to have tags that we can recognize people's screen names, because we get their names, their actual names on their tags a lot of times, but like I don't really get to know people's screen names while they're there as I'm learning the faces.
Yeah.
Epi Nation, Carl, thank you for all of the great pictures and everything you put together on that. That's so good. Again, all of these people in the chat. Supanoli was there. Ted, of course you were there. Ted kept everything together. Ted got everybody
It's
there.
so cool getting to meet him. Yeah, so glad I got to talk to him.
Yeah,
Don't get to
Ted,
see
you're
him
a
very much
legend.
on screen.
Yeah, Ted's always working in the background, so.
That's why my wife is too.
Mhm.
Wouldn't be able to do this without her.
Hey man, that's how I feel about Ted. He helps me tremendously.
Yeah, Ted is awesome. Okay, so let's go over one more word, and then we're gonna start wrapping it up. Maybe I don't know.
I'll
We
do some work.
might think about maybe moving this to like a different night, maybe like a Wednesday night. If that, we'll talk about it later. But it's rough because I have a show at 5 a.m. tomorrow. So staying up too late tonight, I'm getting old and I need my rest. And my sleep.
Yeah, we'll
I
try
feel
It's
that.
8:30.
I feel
we'll
that.
try and implement those and really highlight the specific words in our future episodes.
Well, and
Yeah,
then
we're definitely going to come back to this one. But yeah, we're not done, Cammy. We can definitely go.
no, I know that because on the future episodes, there's a lot of the words on the list that are actual demo things that I had some of my stuff that's still packed up from Fest that I wouldn't be able to demo now if I tried other than holding it up, belly first in front of the camera. But we want to show you, I think we should make almost a vocabulary word and lesson things and
That'd be great. Yeah.
like certain ones like anisotropic we'd like to demonstrate. We'd like to demonstrate
Piezoelectric.
Dave,
uh
this is something for the clock app. Part of your
double
testing system. You got the
refractive.
flat Earth trivia. We need to get
Mhm.
these vocabulary words implemented
Right.
into trivia.
Refractive index, double refraction, and birefringence will cover those ones, but those ones are much better covered with the visuals, so you get to see because what these words are is a lot of the words I'm going to say to you guys, and it will clear up when you listen to everybody. They're words that are they're words to describe optical effects, but people use them. In other words, if you want to learn them, learn the optical effect. Look at the optical effect. Quit memorizing the words. Quit memorizing the formulas. Actually touch and see what they're describing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so these
Snell's
ones,
laws are really one of those really
Mhm.
important ones, at least for me anyway. And understanding exactly what it's describing. It's not
right? Bell's theorem
necessarily
and Bose.
yeah.
Yes.
Don't you don't have to worry so much about like the exact formula because
Mhm.
I've never seen that exact formula actually demonstrated before. Yeah.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
see what they're
It's what's
actually
important
talking about.
is what they're talking about. Yeah.
Things and words talking about in future episodes. Cardinal and ordinal. Cardinal, if you go into etymology, will mean to turn or to twist, to crook the meaning of, to crook it to get to a different meaning. So your cardinal directions are by nature the same with the cardinal. The cardinals came into the church to change the direction of it. Cardinal is an interesting word because they tell you in cardinal that they're changing the direction. It's good to know. Words on mapping when looking in the old maps. A lot of the names, a lot of directionals are built into not only places but into people and things. So for instance, east is obviously like Easter Island. You can do this, but you can do Ost, AUST. You have Australia that was the Eastern lands, that was the Far East Australia. Austria was the eastern part of Europe, and that's or the easternmost part of the country there. But the Ost is a straight eastern prefix. So when you look at this and look at the old maps, they knew what east and west were before they knew that we were on a sphere. And or again, why on a round globe and why on any of these things would you have the far east, the west? But these things are implemented throughout history in directionals. In many different ways. Asherah, Isis, Asherah, who you would know as Isis, who you would know as all these different titles through the Bible, is also depicted. That name translates directly to the word east. Now, what's interesting is the Sphinx is a really good depiction of Asherah. The way that she's depicted on tarot cards and throughout different literatures is one of her the body, the face with the body of a lion. That's a correct Asherah depiction, and they depict the Sphinx facing what? Directly east, with a name. If you attach that to it, the name would mean east. Again, if I show you on the different tarot cards and the different things, that's your marker for it. So these things are embedded in things throughout history and time, markers everywhere. So it's just being aware and looking for them, knowing that these words are out there. When you look at them, connect those dots. Just running through the list, even hex. When things
I
are
think it's important
hexed.
to understand the symbols, and that was kind of one of the things
Yes.
that they talked about over there was recognizing symbols that are all around us all the time. And it's just like understanding words have meanings. Symbols have meanings, and they, especially when they're used repeatedly all throughout history. And
They're
yeah,
used.
when we're
Yes.
kind of flashing symbols right before us,
Mhm.
we need to be aware of that. It's kind of the writing's on the wall there. You know what I mean?
Symbology will be a fun one to get into with the magnets and the
Yeah.
symbology behind it and how it matches it. But that will be another. He says we're late. We're going to have a short show today coming out from here. We just wanted to say that we're back. When we wake up, we're going to be motivated. Maybe. Oops, I'm not on camera. You don't even see me smiling. Too tired to do it. But no, we will. We are getting there. Do we have any questions in the chat? Because again, our chat room. I'm sorry. I was I'll be honest. I went off of camera to have a cigarette because I had a cigarette one time on camera and I had so many messages of people how dare you? How dare you do that? And so I'm trying to be polite.
Embracing
But
people of different backgrounds is,
Mhm.
that's all part of the thing. Is we all love you, and so yeah.
Yes, Diana Spice, symbols, words, and names can tell most things, and so it's because you're exactly right. So it's becoming in tune, putting them again. Right now, they're using them against us to brainwash and to hypnotize us. But if we become aware of what's going on and be aware of the spell, we can not only not be spellcast, but again, we can learn a lot of what's going on. Hexing, hex is one of my favorites. Hex is a number, hexagonal in that it's a number. It is a spell. It is to cast a spell. When they hex things like take the rainbow from 7 to 6, you are casting a spell. You are casting a spell, and a lot of people just like hexachording the music. And taking it out of your esophageal tones. Anytime they're doing the hex and pushing it, changing something from a 7 into a 6, it's their little way of spell casting. Pay attention to it. You see something change in that direction. Again, watch what happened with the rainbow. Something is up.
Yep.
Yep.
The symbols. I'm still just loving
A lot in
the
this.
Toy Story symbols, like, and all the ones in movies that once you see it, you can't unsee it. And so, like the Pizza Planet truck, Pizza Planet. That's like a big, huge flat Earth reference, but it's in like every Pixar movie. Well, not quite every, but a lot of Pixar movies, like all over the place. That was really fun.
Here he is, T. Baggins. He was the gentleman from North Carolina, I believe. That was his first meetup.
Oh, right
Was
on.
out in Vegas. Yeah, he's in the Charlotte area, and he's always looking for more meetups
Well,
around that area.
we're gonna have more meetups around this area with our local crew. We always do. So,
Hmm. And there's one gentleman in Charlotte, isn't he in Charlotte? And he always has the meetup at his house. I forget his
I've been
name.
to the house.
Yeah, me
It's
too.
great. Thank you,
I think
no.
you were there, Karen. Was that
Dean?
Charlotte?
You're
Yeah,
talking about
Dean. Yeah.
Dean.
Dean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but that was not Dean. It's a totally different person.
Okay. But yeah. So there'd be meetups.
Dean's name in chat is actually Dean. Dean F.
Dean F.
Dean F. Shout out to Dean F.
Yeah, we left Vegas up, Cammy and I. We played a little bit of slot machines just for fun, the quarter ones. And I hit like $600. I couldn't believe it.
A lot of people won. I
I know
kept
it's
hearing about
crazy.
people
Flat
winning,
Earthers winning. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
which
And
is great.
Jaron won, Dave won, I won, Run Boston Barrel, he left 300 up. Yeah. They don't want us to come back anymore. They don't want flat earthers in Vegas. Too much good vibes and energy there.
No, it was great. It
Yeah,
was
it
great.
was.
We had a great time.
We did. You were
We can
right.
have
You
a
said
great time
we
anywhere,
had.
though. I
It's
mean,
true.
we
Yeah,
make the party.
that's
We
right.
make the event.
Yeah, was awesome weekend though. No complaints. No even like this could have been better. Just nothing. It was
Nothing. People loved it. People had fun.
Yep.
I have a
Best one
complaint.
yet.
I didn't get enough sleep.
I didn't either. I didn't either.
When
I'm
do
so
we ever
sorry.
though? When do
When
we
do-
I
ever
didn't
get
either.
enough sleep at these things? You just don't want to sleep. It's like, oh, I can stay up for just a little bit. Oh, and there's and then like 3 hours later, you're heading back to your room finally. It's 3 in the morning.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Though kudos and everything to you, Miss Karen B, for starting the next day at noon instead of at 9, and having a 10:30 staff time instead of a opened the building at 6:30 because I got to tell you, on Denver, that building didn't get open sometimes on time.
Man, I can't.
Oh
I'm
my
not going to ask
gosh.
anybody to
I'm not gonna
do.
lie.
I don't
Not
ask
gonna lie.
anybody to do anything that I wouldn't do. You know.
Well, I would have
That's
had
how
it. I
that
would have
works.
had. Yeah, I would have had no problem at the Denver when I was hosting people at my house. So it was like doing the event and opening the building, but it was also wrangling a whole bunch of girls into a car in the morning. Mishka
Oh
and
yeah. Oh my gosh, I remember that.
a few more. One of them was Nora. Nora Naughton from like No One's Flower from Ireland. I love her to pieces at the house. I know we both speak English, but there is a language barrier. I kept on in the morning saying, "Are you ready?" And she would tell me yes, and I'd go wait on the car, and I'd go back up and say, "Are you ready, Nora?"
Yes, I'm ready.
Yes, I'm ready. One of the times I left without her, my husband calls me like, "You left Nora behind," and it's like, oh, I'm looking at the back of the car. 3 other girls know Nora. It's like, "No, why didn't you tell me to come? I told you I was ready. Why didn't you say come to the car?"
So funny.
So the "Are you ready?" And she's probably right, technically right.
Cultural differences. Yeah,
Are you ready does not need
isn't let's
let's
go.
isn't let's go. So live and learn camp. But yeah, we had a great time at the different conferences, and again, a lot of the times we posted and had a house full of people, so it just adds extra memories and fun. And if you can't have the memories and fun, why do it? Life is
Yeah.
for living.
Absolutely.
Bob taught me that. So yep.
100%.
So that
All
was
right.
great. I'm sure there's going to be more Toober Fest videos and all kinds of stuff coming out.
Oh
I
yeah.
can't wait to see Kyle's interviews and just all the presentations and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually interested to see the interviews you got, Kyle, because I saw you walking around with your camera filming, and I was like, "Oh, Kyle's getting some interviews in. Nice." I like that
Yeah.
because then you get to, like you said, you get to hear from people who don't normally get to tell their story.
People who don't have YouTube channels.
Right, they don't have
They've got
channels, they
very
don't have any
interesting stories.
production, whatever, which is cool. Not everybody needs to do that, but it's cool that those people show up to the event, and then there's people like you walking around with a camera who are like, "Hey, tell your story." That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's really awesome.
That's what I love it. There's just a really good feeling where just helping people to share their light, and yeah,
Absolutely.
no better feeling than that.
And that's the place to do it right there.
Yeah.
That's easy fishing. So yeah, Toober Fest was a huge success. They just keep getting better. That was, in my opinion, the best one as far as logistics and all that kind of stuff and smoothness and again, I'll just keep saying it. There's alcohol involved here, folks, in controversial topics, passionate people speaking about things that they might not agree on. And there was not an argument, let alone fist being thrown or something crazy like that.
Did that happen before?
No, never.
Oh, okay, good.
At one of these events, never. Not even yelling.
No.
Not even a yelling argument. Not even a little push or something. That doesn't happen at these.
People are happy. People are so
Yes.
happy, and
It's different. It's just so different. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's not like a troll fest that you see online. Like, yeah, you get onto modern day debates and it's like nothing but troll comments, and like, yeah, you do something like that in person. No, not at all. Oh, there's an actual face behind this. Yeah.
Big shout out, man. Thank you. The $20 super chat. Thanks, Karen B. Great FE convention. Had a blast. Great vibes from everyone. If there are any flat earthers in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, feel free to hit me up anytime. I'm on the FE Clock app as well under T Baggins.
Awesome. All right.
Shout out to T Baggins.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, you'll be hearing about some meetups here.
Yeah,
we'll be having them
for sure.
Oh yeah.
Hello, Supinella. Yeah, the trolls. I mean, I talked to Danny Faulkner for probably over a half hour.
Yeah, and you guys
we
seem
talked
like
back
having
and
a
forth.
great conversation.
We had a great I'm not going to lie.
Totally
we had
different than online.
We
Totally
nothing
different than
nothing
online.
like the online things. We had a great. He is bright. we had a very bright, engaging conversation. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't trade it. I'd love to turn him. I mean, I'd really love to get Mr. Danny Faulkner
Well,
on
he
our
keeps
side.
coming, so yeah,
He keeps on
that's
coming to
something.
our things, and he
It's
seems.
always invited.
You're always invited, Dr. Danny Faulkner. Anytime you want, you can come on the show, ask questions. And again, if you can find a fault in the physics I'm doing and fault it that way, or let me know on technique. I do want to know. I don't want to. I don't have any like again with working on what works in reality. I do my best, but I'm not attached. I want the truth, and you
And
know what?
He's
The truth works.
he's a creationist, and
He's a
you know,
creationist, and
I will celebrate
halfway
that.
there.
I will
It's
celebrate that. Yeah,
real
so
quick,
far.
a big shout out to one of my favorite people that travel this plane so freely, Miss Carrie Musgrave.
Oh
Carrie.
yeah,
She gave
Carrie.
a $20 tip over on Rockfin.
Oh, we have
Thank you
Rockfin up.
so much,
Thank you,
Carrie. It was
Carrie.
so awesome seeing you again.
It was so great to see Carrie again, for
It was
sure.
so great to see Carrie. And Carrie,
She's lovely.
Yeah.
while we're doing
I
this
love her
before we hang
hair.
up.
Her hair was so long this time. I've
Her
never
hair
seen her
did get
with,
long.
yeah. It looks good though. It looks really good. And it's just so awesome seeing. She's one of those people who she is in the chats, every now and then,
Mm-hmm.
but she's one of those people that I didn't meet through YouTube. I met her at Denver, the convention, and then found out that she's nomading around too and camping, and we ended up at the same campground out in Arizona. Yeah, it's just weird. All these, you know,
Oops, I'm not
coincidences,
holding it right in the camera thing.
synchronicities.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and it wasn't like we had met at the Flat Earth conference in Denver and then met up at, no, we were both at that campground. Like I left that campground to come here to the conference and then went back to the campground. And yeah, we were both staying at that same campground. Two flat earthers, didn't know each other, didn't even know
That's
and
so
ended up
awesome.
meeting up, yeah, in Denver. That's my Carrie. I love you, sister.
My Carrie, did you see your shirt? I take such good care of it. When you come to my house, you get it back. But I'm not. You have to come to my house. You gave it
Yeah,
to me. You left it in person. You have to pick it up in person, my darling. Oh, I love Carrie Musgrave. Again, a
yeah,
lot of these
it's a
people now have.
family reunion. It really is. It's like a family reunion that you want to go to.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to leave. Yeah. I don't know how long we could last though. We would probably all die of exhaustion after like a week.
2 days feels so short. It's like
It
you want it to
does.
last all week long and then some. And
Do a
so
week festival. Is that what we're
it
doing?
itch you for more. It just makes you want to go back next year. Just so yeah. And for me, it was just kind of that moment of being able to finally break the ice and get out there and start doing all the interviews. And yeah, I think the hard part for me, like you said in the beginning, was just I was wanting to be there right with my wife, sitting down with her, watching all the content that she doesn't normally get to sit down and watch. But at the same time, break away and go talk to other people too. And yeah.
We're done. It's like I can't even get the camera set. Sorry, I knocked it. But your wife, I love your wife and doing the experiments with you. It was so nice to meet her and give her a big hug. And
yeah,
again, it was
she
magical
really
meeting
loved
everybody.
everyone too. Yeah, she loved it. And just
I didn't get enough time with you guys one-on-one. None of us got enough time.
Yeah, that's the hard part about it all. Everyone's so busy, and I get it. So that's there's always next time. So
Run Boston Bear says he's ready to book his trip and buy tickets. Sue Finelli, big shout out. Love you, darling. It's so awesome seeing you. Another OG. Been to like every one of these things. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's like family. It really is. It's, we've been doing this for a little while now. So you get to know these people and you see them. It's not all the time, but the way things have been lately, and, some of us who aren't have all that stuff going on, I'm not even allowed to go home and see my family because of that. They don't want to see me because of it. Yeah, it's crazy, so this is my family here. These are the people who understand me and, know me now. Like,
There's a significant strength that comes from gathering with your people. And I kept thinking about kind of like almost like a church like setting or something like that, where you kind of come and get together and hear other people, hear that you're not alone. And also it's very therapeutic to hear how they are dealing with their struggles. We talked to there's a kind of funny conversation with Mark there about the one guy. He's like, well, I'm dating this girl and she's a globe-earther. And yeah, so I have different advice than he probably gave, but that's kind of what we do is we just kind of talk and share our struggles and we get support. Here we're not alone. And what are you doing? How are you persevering in all this? And, what are your thoughts on all this? And yeah, there's so much to it.
Yeah. Yeah. These are, it's hard to to wrap it all up into, just words. You can't, it's like seeing that beautiful sunset or that beautiful, ocean view with your eyes and then taking a picture of it and trying to show that person what you saw with just that picture. That picture does not capture what your eyes saw. It never can. It's like that beautiful moment was really just meant for you.
Yeah.
Right there at that time.
Yeah. And if you really were someone who just saw that and just didn't have the right vibe, sometimes it takes seeing something you don't like to be inspired to do something that you do like, to change things. You don't like the way this is done. Okay, that's fine. Be inspired by it. Let it motivate you to go and do your own meetup, right? And do things your way. You don't like doing it in a casino? I would love to see it happen in a church or some other setting or something like that. Let's do it. Let it inspire you. Let it motivate you to stand up and be a leader, because Karen's doing great here. She's inspiring people, and that's what's important, to get up and go and do their own meetups.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm waiting for, we got 4 seasons. Karen's got the fall one pretty much down. That's Toober Fest, baby.
It doesn't even have to be a big event like what I'm doing, though. It really doesn't. It doesn't. You could just be local. You could just, invite your local people and just do it every month. And then that way you build up a regular, it'll get bigger and bigger because you're doing it regularly.
Yeah.
The consistency really helps with building that up. So that would
Absolutely,
be I would say that, like, it doesn't even have to be a big deal. Just pick a great place that can accommodate your group of people and just do it every month at the same time.
And get together, yeah.
Yeah, and send it to Mark, send it to me. We'll put it on the websites, and Mark will make a video for it, and you can put it on the app, and eventually you will build up a good monthly meetup and a good core group of friends in your area that you can relate to and talk with and spend time with.
There's an ice cream shop out in St. George. That's where we do our meetup every month. Last Friday of every month, same time, same place. And yeah, just expect us to be there, except for this month because of Toober Fest and all that.
Right. Just do it consistently.
It's consistency. Yeah, that's the big thing. And so that way people can just kind of know to expect it. And just keep doing it. We've been doing it for, I don't know, over a year, and it's been fantastic. We've had some large groups show up, and yeah, it's been really, really fun.
Yeah, we move ours around, but it's neat because there's so many of us that live, within an hour of each other, all right around here. There's just a nice tight-knit community of flat earthers, and just us can go to a place and have like a small meetup gathering right there without putting any word out on any type of social media. It can all be just text, like, hey, we're going to have a meetup here, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so once you get them going and you meet the people in your area, it's like family. We get together. If you build
it, they will come.
Yes.
On the clock app, there's kind of a secret broadcast button. I think you just click on like the number of the people or something like that. And then all of a sudden it lets you broadcast and send out a message to all of the different like dots on the map within 50 miles. And then
Yeah.
you can just say, hey, I want to do a meetup at this time at this place. And then people will just, if you build it, they will come. You give them the invite and you'll see who shows up. And so I was just when I went over to Arizona for my grandpa's funeral, I just said, hey guys, I'm in town. Let's do a meetup. And people came. We just showed up at a park. I bought a bunch of watermelon and we just ate watermelon at the park and had some great, chatting and talking with people. And it was fun just right there at the park. And yeah, it was cool. Didn't cost anything for anyone. Just have some watermelon. It's cheap.
Heck yeah.
When
Just
Bob and I
meeting up.
Yeah, when Bob and I traveled when we were in like Hawaii and Sedona, and that we would just announce where we were at the hotel and call meetups at the bar at the hotel. And boy, at the Flat Earth Maui when we had like 30 some people show up. And again, this was it was great. We were like, we're gonna be there at the bar if y'all want to come. And people showed up from all over, and we got yelled at from the people at the Big Island that there wasn't enough notice and that. But yeah, if you call it out, they will come. People want to get together with people in person and be able to talk freely and discuss their ideas and what they think is happening. That without being, it's so freeing. It's so nice just to be around people that you can speak freely about and discuss ideas and have them feed off of each other and help you out with it. It's again, stuff dreams are made of.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So shout out to Phoenix, open hearts, open minds. Love you guys. You guys are awesome.
That's awesome. Shout out to the Kakalaki crew. The best, baby. All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up, folks. This one we're going to maybe like one a month, maybe the last week of every month that we do. We could maybe go over words and etymology. That could be
And
like,
demo some of them and that and just
yeah,
Just kind of put it in there as we're going along. Yeah.
just keep adding to the list. We could have a list and put it in the GLOBEBUSTER Telegram and just keep adding to it.
How about
Our
Dave
list
say,
of-
hey, get this in trivia.
Yeah, there
Get
you
this in
go.
trivia. These are important words to remember. Yeah.
But there's
So
important
when it
words
comes
to
explain it to other
remember.
people.
Yeah. When we go into the magnetics and go into the different things of it, and again, just these basic concepts that you don't need to memorize, and we're going to keep pushing them. Because when we go into the magnetics and some of the different tech stuff, it's if you go in with the notion that what we're talking about is what you were taught in elementary school, again, these words will be like the magnetics. We're going to go into the different areas, and it's important to you to just in your mind kind of separate it now and know that that's another area you've been kind of misled on a little bit. And a lot of good information is there. So bear with us on what seems boring because we're going to tie it all together.
Real
Connect
quick,
those
a big
dots.
shout out to Ali Duman. I met him at the conference. He is possibly going to come on to Iron Realm Media for a Friday night show and just, get to know him, hear his story. He's got some stuff he wanted to talk about. And whenever I go to these conferences, I love it because I meet all these new people that kind of have something to say. And I'm blessed enough to be a part of Iron Realm Media. It's a group where we've been doing it a long time. We're very comfortable with each other and with a guest, and it's not a huge audience. It's not like asking someone to come on to GLOBEBUSTERS who's never spoken online before.
It's a good way to kind of get you broken in.
Break
kind of,
it. I
it's
mean, we've
testing
done it with
ground.
so many people
Yeah.
have come onto Flat Earth through Iron Realm Media. Rose,
Yeah, kind of.
777, Crow, Mark Devlin. There's just been all these different people that they like to come on to Iron Realm Media because it's not so,
It's not a show, it's a chat group.
yeah, it's more of a therapy session than
Right.
anything else. Yeah. So
You may or may not learn something. You may learn a lot, but we have a lot of fun.
you
Kind of a
probably
meetup
will
itself.
laugh. Yeah.
It's kind of a meetup of its own, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So yes, so nice to meet you, Ali. That was he's got some interesting stuff he'd like to share. So yeah, we're gonna be he really got into studying the sun and the rotations of them. It's just really neat. reminded me a lot of myself when I started my journey, the path I was going down and looking at and trying to figure out. So yeah, I'm interested to see, what what he can bring to the table that I didn't see, because there will be. There's always that thing that, you know, you study a subject and a topic for so long and this and that, and then you go to someone else who studies it and they teach you all these things you had never even heard about. So yeah, that's another thing why we have to keep going and just keep learning, because just because we've studied a topic doesn't mean we can't learn more about it.
Yeah. And you got to keep inspiring other people, right?
Yes.
Raising your voice. And that's part of kind of getting out there and, making appearances on shows like that. It's practicing raising your voice and sharing your light.
Absolutely.
Bill will, yes, $1,000. You can make it work, because if you have the drive to be at the conference, you can make things work on it. Start saving up now. You don't want to. You need to be there. You need to be on. You need to go to the conferences. You're here in the chat. You're local. You know all of this. You're going to know all of these people. You just need to find a way to make it happen.
You won't regret it.
You won't regret it. It's worth it. It is that good.
So any of you still traveling back from Toober Fest? I know Richard is heading back to Australia here. Safe travels, friend. Everybody else, I'm glad you made it. Yeah, it was a blast. It was so nice meeting all of you, the new faces. So nice always seeing all the old faces. Yeah, family reunion really is. I had a blast, Karen. Thank you so much.
That's the funny thing about it, is like, as you get to know the people, it's like, I've met you before. It just feels like I've met you before. It's just like the instant connection.
Scottish tart. I've finally gotten brave enough to speak up to my coworkers about flat Earth. It's interesting. Laugh out loud. Why, yes, it is so interesting when you take up that discussion with people. Kudos to you. I hope you did
that's how you
some
wake people up.
background to wake them up.
You
Just
take that
plant
leap.
seeds. My best advice is make them curious and plant seeds, as opposed to try to tell them trying to win anything at that point. Just make them curious and have a good time with it.
There's got to be something to it if you are willing to believe it. If you're if you are actually willing to go out on a limb and say, I'm a flat earther, that's putting a lot out there. And that alone inspires people to look more into it. What? This guy believes in flat earth? It's not as dumb as, they first think it is, because you're putting your name on it.
Yeah.
Brilliant, Scottish tart. That is the way to do it. I just bring it up and ask them stuff. That is brilliant. That is how it's done. All right, we made it to
so
9
that's
o'clock.
gonna wrap it up for this show. I hope you enjoyed it. We will be back next Thursday at the same time, 7 p.m.
Unless we
Eastern.
move the show. Yeah. We'll be back next week.
I really
Yeah.
felt the love in the show. I'm telling you. I really felt it. Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, we will be back next week. Kyle, did you have anything coming up this week that you?
I'm just gonna keep those rolling out. I've got some other things, so I'm gonna kind of stagnate it or stagger it. That's the word, not stagnate. Sorry, stagger it. So I'm still rolling out a lot of my older content, and so I'm kind of republishing that, and then I'm also trying to get my newer content in at the same time. So if your video doesn't come up immediately, I promise you it's coming. Hopefully, if the audio works all out perfectly. And yeah, sometimes it's just kind of one of those ones that just kind of got interrupted or something like that by some weird noise in the background that just didn't quite work. But hopefully I should be able to get to them all.
Awesome. Karen, anything exciting going on? I know you're probably still recuperating.
Yeah, nothing exciting. I think Jack will be back and we'll resume anti-religious scripture study on Saturday.
Nice.
And then coffee talk on Monday, possibly.
And as I'm catching up, Karen, and we did yard work here at the house big time today. I'm doing another one tomorrow as we're working and doing things and seeing rocks. I'm seeing rocks to accumulate for our tumbler and getting grit. So it's pretty soon it's been beautiful to go out rock hunting and tumbling and get our hands dirty and in the mud. That's what I want to do.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Cammy?
Cammy, what do I want to do, or what do I have? I want to go over to Karen's and play with the rough tumblers and go in the forest.
What do we have? What do we have coming up tomorrow?
What do we have coming up tomorrow? Tomorrow is Friday. We have Iron Realm Media on the Iron Realm Media channel at 6 o'clock Eastern ish. If anybody is not familiar with Iron Realm, we are a bunch of wizards. We show up
Precisely
when Josh has everything all hooked up
supposed
and
to.
running.
Yeah, when we're supposed to.
When we're supposed to. Sometimes it's 6, sometimes it's 6:45. Watch your notifications. We're not on time. So that's the Iron Realm Media. It's part of the style of the Iron Realm Media Friday nights. There is 6-ish. It won't be there any earlier than 6, though. I can tell you there's no way we're gonna start earlier than 6 o'clock.
Yeah, very, very rare.
Then I'll be in Karen's chat room for the Saturday morning show, because that is my favorite.
Yep.
And we have forest time and getting things. We need to get some different things for visual presentations that people want to see, and they want us to present more. So we're going to work on getting more things together and short videos while tumbling rocks and learning. So
all right. And
it's going to be a great night, or a great time. Yeah.
I will be joining Cammy tomorrow night on Iron Realm Media. Have no fear. Like she said, 6-ish, probably closer to 6:30-ish. Then I also have the show tomorrow at 5 a.m. Eastern, which is Ironworks. Yeah, and if you want to see the raw, uncut Zach, who just woke up like within a half hour ago, usually, that's where you go to see me. Usually in the afternoon show, I've got my wits about me, and but yeah, it's totally raw. All three of us have just woken up. Josh has been up for about an hour. He's got to be. He's the technical side of it. But yeah, Walter and I have just woken up, and you're going to hear exactly what we have on our minds.
And I'm still in bed.
But yeah, we have a lot of fun.
Absurdly early. Y'all have a good time.
People over in Europe, we have a lot more European people than we have Americans. But I get it. It's early and on the East Coast. Early on the East Coast and really, really late on the West Coast. So
late night, 12 o'clock in the morning, stuff going there. I had a better
shot
at catching it.
And then GLOBEBUSTERS on Sunday night at 3. Well, Sunday afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern. So hope to see you there. Yeah, had a great time. Again, meeting all of you. I can't say it enough. I just keep seeing, everybody's faces. Richard, Stephanie, Xander, Luigi, all you guys. I'm never going to forget the mojo. Yeah, I'm never going to forget it. So the next one, if you haven't been able to make one yet, I'm telling you, you gotta come. You gotta find your way to get to one of these, or at least a local meetup with a nice group of people, because it changes you. It really does. It energizes you, and it gives you that oomph you need to kick back into gear. We all have trouble sometimes just finding that motivation, that drive to get that first step going. Once you get going, most people, once you start something, it's easy to do it, but just the starting it, that first step, sometimes we all get kind of bogged down and just, I don't want to do anything today. Well, I'll tell you this, since Flattober Fest, I've been like, let's do this, let's do that, I'm gonna go do this, I'm gonna go do that, boom, 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 boom,
it gives you fire. It gives you fire.
It really does. It rejuvenates you. So if anything, it's therapeutic. It's healing. I don't know how else to say it. It's medicinal.
You're not alone.
Yeah, this is like a medicine. Yeah. It's one of the best medicines, camaraderie, that fellowship. Yeah, it really
for me it's about making waves. Okay, it's like the more people you get in a group, the bigger the wave you're able to get. And yeah, the world is watching. They're feeling the ripples. You know what I mean? The earth is shaking, and it's really freaking people out. And yeah, and that's kind of part of the fun of seeing history in the making and watching the ripples that happen from it.
Yeah, it's something else. It really is. So if I hope for your sake, if you haven't been able to do this one time, that you get to feel this energy that I'm feeling right now. Still, it's been days. We're on Thursday and this was over Sunday night and I'm still just like buzzing from it. Yeah,
But it
it's
feels like nap time right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you still got to sleep, but you wake up and you're like ready to go again.
Yeah, big
It's
part of that though is talking to people, kind of getting out of your group, out of your shell. If you're just there to watch the presentations, you're missing out. You're missing out.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like the presentations are great. I'm not gonna
Oh
bash
yeah,
on all that and stuff like
especially
that.
if
And
you're bringing
yeah,
somebody that really
yeah,
hasn't looked into FE too much.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's
those
still gonna be some stuff that you're gonna disagree with, and that's kind of be normal because it's all the different backgrounds. But yeah, and so, but when you really get to know the people, that's it.
yeah, there's something special there.
Yeah.
So that's going to do it, folks. Thank you all again for joining us so much. That was a fun one. We will be back with another Words Have Meanings 2 and 3 probably, and 4. So give us some words, some phrases, anything like that you'd like us to cover. And
We'll even look
we
it up
will.
and do more video and stuff behind them more than we did tonight, but it is good to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. So that will be it. Remember, be good to each other. Don't lie to each other. Open your mind because there's truth inside. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.
Say peace.
Peace.
Good night.